always just affect the mid game and late game like that. We saw a pretty bad push from Ecstatic, or at least a very good response from Cost. Well, actually, it was sort of a hiccup because all the Banelings died without killing anything. So we saw a hiccup from Ecstatic, and it severely put down for the rest of the game. His ClassicK's macro just kept on growing exponentially. In the late game, it all came down to one, he had more infestors earlier. Even though Ecstatic was able to stabilize after the second engagement with the Roaches and Infestors, was able to stabilize. However, by that time, ClassicK was on 3 bases, and he could just keep on pumping in reinforcements. So, anyways, that was the end of that match. And we do have another game. Okay, sounds good.
Roach is awesome.
Again, I'd like to quickly give a thanks and shout out to this tournament and the group hosting it. This is the OMGYUMYUM Platinum Diamond.
Week 3.
Yep, we have a $10 prize for the winner. Just a pretty cool weekly tournament we have. If you want to support the group or just want to hang out with us, OMGYUMYUM.com.
Or join the OMGYUMYUM channel on Battle.net.
Or just idle in our mumble. We have a lot of ways to communicate. We're just awesome people overall.
And we accept all levels. Even if you're not flat diamond, you still want to play in a tournament, we have a bronze, silver, gold tournament on Sundays. Alright, I don't know if anyone could hear that, but I apologize for the crying baby in the background.
No, it's totally fine, because we actually didn't hear it.
Ah, well then.
You are fine.
There was no crying baby in the background. We do have Brosov, who I believe I checked him and I thought it said he was platinum. Nope, he's diamond. They're both diamond players.
Yep. It is going to be Brosov versus Neku. It is Neku.
Neku was platinum.
Okay.
It's very impressive for a platinum player to make it this far into a tournament.
Now, on the other hand, I mentioned how a bunch of gold players would be going up to platinum playing this tournament. On the other hand, sadly, we do have a lot of diamond players who get demoted down to platinum. Regardless, you know, they are, you know, around that same skill level. So.
No, he was platinum last season.
He was? Man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut you down every chance.
It's gonna shut me down right after that. But still, for a tournament overall, that is the case for some people.
I'm very impressed because in tournaments like this, you always get, well, you mainly get the higher league players are usually the only ones that get past third of the fourth round.
It normally does level out, like you mentioned, but this tournament predominantly mixed. It's very cool.
And we are going to have a TVP on Tesbo.
Yep, we're casting a match from the same round. We try to cast as many matches as we can, see who's available, who's not. The site we're using Zeek.com. Check them out, Z33K. Tournaments are basically self-run, very easy for tournament admins to set up, and players just submit replays. It's a very smooth running process, and it's mainly automated, so check it out if you have a tournament you want to run. We have Terran versus Protoss to show you today, between Brosov, our green Terran player, spawning at the bomb position at 7 o'clock, versus the 11 o'clock positioned Neku playing our blue Protoss.
This map for TVP, as a Protoss player, I actually like to take a Forge Fast Expand. Because it's a small choke.
It is. That's a very good idea. It's not, you know, as convenient as, say, Tal'Darim or Shakuras, but it's still relatively small. It's not extremely hard to defend. Notice how, where they spawned, notice how the gas is actually further away from the, or is actually close to the ramp opposed to the Well, actually, all three are that way. Your workers at the beginning will be a bit closer. They'll be a bit more prone to harass. But considering this is a Terran versus Protoss, unless our Terran goes Hellions, which is not really too standard in Terran versus Protoss, I don't think we'll see any of that.
At this point in the game, Protoss doesn't really, like, in the state of the game, Protoss doesn't have any units that harass, really. Like, we have War Prisms, but they're so flimsy, they're not really good for drops. Whereas Terrans have Hellions, which are ridiculously good for drop. And I don't think that we'll see much harassment coming out of the Protoss player. I think he'll try to either end it early or with a really fast 4 gate, or he'll sit back and try to take a quick third and macro up.
Right, both players are actually going to, once again, just like our last match we had ZVZ where both Overlords went the wrong way, both players are actually going to scout the wrong base at the beginning again. Just, wow, none of the players we watch can get any luckier there, can they? We have a simple, no 2-gate aggression here. We have a gateway, then Cybercore coming up for our Protoss player. Very standard play for our Terran player as well. We don't have any, crazy proxy racks or anything. This probe's gonna get us everything.
The scouting probe does go down though. Ooh, and here comes a 1-rack expand from Grosive.
Okay, yep. Like you mentioned, the Protoss feels done like a Forge Fast expand. Our Terran player is going to do a 1-rack expand. Again, like you said, it's not a huge choke, but it's small enough to make strategies like this very viable.
We do have a second gas coming down for Neku, which indicates some tech play. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Robo or a Stargate coming up soon.
Regardless, he does need to kill off this scouting probe as soon as he can. The Stalker's gonna come out and take care of that.
Nice micro. Nice micro.
Yeah. Got him.
Requires 200 APM to do that.
Absolutely. 2 more racks going down for our Terran player. The command star still hasn't finished. He's making a bunker to the top of the ramp.
A 1-rack expand for Neku. It's kind of a strange build that he would have gotten his second gas before he took his expansion.
Right. It is a very peculiar build, I agree. He only has 1 sentry down there, 1 stalker on the map somewhere, just sort of poking around the front. But I don't really think he's ready for too much aggression.
Takes a nice couple shots on a Marine to soften it up.
He'll feel that in the morning.
Yeah. I like that he's being active with the Stalker. It's such a fast unit that Terran has nothing that can keep up with it, because at this point in the game they can't have concussive shells. So there's no risk, really, in losing that Stalker unless you're just not paying attention.
And because he's so active with it, he knows that, moving just from his main to his opponent's natural, he knows that there's no units there, so there is no aggression. I will say that that's also very smart, because if any Marines were on the way, then he'd probably have to cancel its expansions to start focusing on warping on more units. He does have 2 gateways coming in, and robotics facility.
He might be going Colossus, which I don't really like Colossus against Terran, just because they're going to get they're going to get a starport anyway for medevacs. That way they can easily switch over into Vikings, which are the thing that Terran uses to counter Colossus.
Now,
obviously.
On the other hand, if the Terran player does not make Vikings, then the majority of the Terran army does get royally screwed over by Colossi play. But it all depends on the ability of both players to scout, so we'll see how that works out.
A quick forge and a quick engineering bay coming down. I like this heavy upgrade play that we're probably going to be seeing. The upgrades are so good, and they need to be... People need to upgrade more, more than just 1-1.
A lot of players are very conscious about upgrades, at least for the first one. However, like you said, a lot of players actually slip on it at some point, and it's not really a part of their core play. They some builds specifically incorporate that first one in, but after that, some players forget, and it severely hurts them later on in the game. Hopefully, we won't see that in this game. We do have a missile turret coming up, and it's probably going to catch this observer off guard. It's going to finish right before it gets there, so this poor observer is about to run into death. But we'll go ahead and see that our Terran player is entrenched.
It's a very sentry-heavy build, which limits his tech.
He did take a pretty. He did, thanks to ClassicK SC for a quick post on Reddit. Appreciate that, bro. We do have both players are working on their Zelnaga. Very smart. Like I mentioned last game, controlling your Zelnaga is so important because it allows you to expand and be mobile with your army.
Ooh, a Templar Archive coming up. I think we're gonna
Storm
see.
So good.
I think we might actually use Zealot Archon because he is getting Zealot Charge. Zealot Archon is a very good strategy.
Very good against Terran, especially with this main bio army. Another observer is actually hanging over this Terran army, so there isn't a siege tank right now, and the observer sees that. So Zealot Archon would be very, very good if he can get that to work as soon as possible. It is a heavy investment. The observer is actually just on hold position over here. He's not following this army, so the Terran army is moving up. Our Protoss player still holds his Zelnaga, so he sees where the army is. He has a lot of soldiers.
Neku's actually getting a quick +2 armor, even before he gets +1 weapons.
Here comes that first Archon, by the way.
The merging is complete.
Now, I don't... Another Archon would be great, but just having one will really help him with this engagement. This Zealot needs to run away.
I would have liked to... Oh, charge it. Yeah, it's gonna be close to being done.
I don't know if our Terran player can see this Archon yet or not. It never ran into the vision of his Zelnaga, and he's up to Zelnaga now.
Ooh, charge just now finishes.
3 more High Templar just merged in, or warped in. They need to morph into an Archon.
High Templar are useless without Psystorm, obviously. Especially when the opponent's going just Marine Marauder.
Right, but again, there's no siege tanks out yet. We do have a Ghost Academy coming out, so we have 2 coming out. He's going to be heavy with those upgrades. And,
it's either a misclick or nukes.
It's definitely not a misclick. He may be doing that to get both upgrades as soon as possible. I don't know how much his economy can support that, but regardless, both players are going for very, very expensive tech, and both of them would be really helped by taking a third. And they both have the Zelnagas, so they should be able to relatively safely.
+2 just finished for Neku, and +3 is coming up, along with Psystorm. I don't know why he didn't get attack, because attack is so good for Archons, especially against a Marine Marauder ball.
And, by the way, Psystorm is also being researched. This is looking like a very scary army for any Terran biological army, and that's exactly what Brosif's making. We have Archons, and we have Psionic Storm about to finish. That's insanely powerful against any type of bio.
I like that he's getting Psystorm. I don't like that he's forgetting his High Templar at his base.
He does have the 5 as base bound on the control group, so he does need to move that up with the rest of his army, but he's sort of keeping it back right now. The Ghosts are on the field, and EMP doesn't have enough energy for EMP, but they will by the time this starts.
There's a nuke.
There's a nuke.
There's a freaking
nuke.
And there's cloaking.
Now, this nuke may be slightly ineffective, but we actually have a drop coming behind the natural. Several Marauders. Marauders actually aren't that great when it comes to killing drones. Most of the time you want to make dropships with Marauders when you're sniping buildings. However, the response is Zealots. So those obviously won't do much against the Marauders.
And he's forced to pull all the way back to his base, which buys him even more time to get this personal cloaking up.
We do have that third just finishing for Neko, by the way.
And the third starting for Brosif.
If these were spotted before they actually dropped, talking about these 2 dropships, they have been really cool to see good feedback play. We won't see that, however.
I'm not sure what
He
he's doing with these dropships. I would go